He rolled his eyes and saluted me like some martyr. But at least he'd dash in and out of Molly's boudoir and talk a little soldier with Tad. He loved his little brother, and wouldn't have disappeared without offering Taddy some token from headquarters, a discarded pencil case, a broken boot strap, or a rebel bullet pouch Bob had picked up in the field. I didn't have much peace after Bobby's visit. The radicals hounded me in the halls. They wanted me to dismantle Dixie, toss out every single Southern legislature like Grant's discarded pencil cases. I wouldn't listen to their rabid cries. "We're changing landlords a little," I said. "That's all." They cursed me and Grant. The papers announced that I would be at Ford's tonight with the General and his Julia. Ford's was serving up the same old farce, Our American Cousin with Laura Keene, the theater impresario. I was in the mood for Richard III and the Rumble of Kings, but I ain't certain she had Richard in her repertoire. The seats were packed once Grant's name was announced, and prices soared to $1.05 a ticket. It wasn't on account of Our American Cousin. Everybody wanted to catch a glimpse of the reclusive general. But at the last minute, Grant declined. Julia and my wife just couldn't get along. Mary had insulted her on our last trip to City Point, and I suspect Julia couldn't contemplate sitting in the presidential box at Ford's for 3 solid hours with Mary Lincoln. I, too, would have declined, but I didn't want to wreck Laura Keene and Ford's. Still, it weighed on me, having to wear a fancy collar and a hat with a silk top, without the clatter of tin swords on stage or the death of one solitary king. My rotund Secretary of War wouldn't go to the theater with me in place of Grant. Stanton said it wasn't safe. Any rebel fanatic could take a shot at the president no matter how secluded I was in my box. "Well, Stanton, then I might as well pass the time playing checkers with Tad while soldiers prance outside my door." "Mr. President, that would be a more reasonable policy than going to Ford's 5 days after Appomattox." I wouldn't listen to that taciturn man in the long brown and gray beard. Still, I had a hard time in the president's palace. It was filled with sutlers who could no longer follow Grant into battle with their supply wagons and wanted me to offer them up a parcel of the South as their own private territory. These vultures were prepared to pay any price. I'd have laid them out with a parcel of my own fury, but the vultures had been loyal to Grant, so I hemmed and hawed, said I'd have to consult with Grant, and waited for my wife.